Beginning, Gadiel. We are beginning. We have some song sheets this evening. We have handouts in the back. And we'll begin. It's always a delight to welcome Yehuda to the Bima for Guitar Shabbat. You add just a great deal. It's your presence and it's your love of singing and of Ruach. And we'll begin this evening with Shalom Aleichem, reminding that we do have 3 handouts on the back table, so please pick up those handouts to participate. We're beginning with page 5 in the Siddur, the Shalom Aleichem. On the bigger song sheet with Hebrew and English mixed together, the first song is Ma Tovu, which comes from the Bible. How beautiful it is that your tents are here. How beautiful it is that we are present and that we feel at home being with each other. And for those joining in online, in a way, your homes are an extension of the synagogue this evening. Ma Tovu at the top of the song sheet. And the next song is, next song is Romamu, which means lift up your voice to God. And we all need to come together to sing in presence. Romamut's the next song sheet on the song sheet.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu B'shtachavu Lehar Kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu B'shtachavu Lehar Kodsho. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu B'shtachavu Le'ar Kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu B'shtachavu Le'ar Kodsho. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu B'shtachavu Le'ar Kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu B'shtachavu Le'ar Kodsho.
Turning now to the Siddur in the prayer book itself, on page number 11. On page 11, on the English side, the left margin, there's a small little reading. It's entitled Fighting Our Way, and then in a moment, the L'chun Ranana on the Hebrew side, but Finding Our Way together. Prayer is no panacea, no substitute for action. It is rather like a beam thrown from a flashlight before us into the darkness. It is in this light that we grope, stumble, and climb, discover where we stand, what surrounds us, and the course which we should choose. What surround us, the course which we should choose. L'chun Ranana, this is Yehuda's composition. L'chun Ranana is a psalm. It's found in the Bible, and this opening piece is his own musical composition together. The small song sheet, Shir L'Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shir L'Adonai Kol Haaretz, also a composition of Yehuda's. Sing a new song.
So I wrote it. Let's see if I can remember it. Let's see, there's a G in it. Okay, got it. Oh, I got it. I just checked. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shmo, Bazru Miyom, Yom Yeshuato. Sing to God a new song. Sing to God, all land. Sing to God and praise His name and tell of His saving hand. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shmo, Bazru Miyom, Yom Yeshuato. Sing to God a new song. Sing to God, all land. Sing to God and praise His name and tell of His saving hand. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz.
On page 19 on the English side, the left marginal note, and then in a moment the L'chadodi. On page 19 on the English side, in the left marginal note, it's one sentence. It's entitled "The Presence of Evil." So long as evil is present in the world, God is not whole. We're left to wonder the rest of the Midrash from which this is excerpted. But this raises so many thoughts and questions, and I'm perplexed. That means that when people do evil, in a way, they chip away at God. So people have influence upon God, God's self, by their criminality and brutality and viciousness, chipping away at God. The obverse then is that when you and I focus our energies in a constructive way to improve our world, to contribute to our lives, to enhance the lives of others, to fashion a society based upon respect and honor and dignity and care, then in a way we enhance God. We expand God. So each one of us is an individual, and every one of us within the myriads of groups that we all belong to have power upon God, God's self, in this way. It's up to us to share this message with the world. L'chadodi, we're on page 23. Which stanzas, Yehuda? First two, last two? First two, last two. First two stanzas on page 23, last two stanzas on page 25, literally welcoming Shabbat. And as you know, it's traditional, not a requirement, it's just traditional. If your legs are cooperating, The very last stanza, we stand up and we turn, we face the door, symbolically welcoming Shabbos into our space.
Shabbat nekavela, shamor v'zakor v'ur echad, ishmiyanu elam yuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shimon tiferet v'tila, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela, lecha dodi likrat Shabbat nekavela, ligrat Shabbat lechuvenecha, hi mekor habaracha, rosh mikedem nesucha, sof maasev shabbat hatila, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela, lecha dodi likrat Shabbat nekavela, Yaminu zmo tiper of sea, Yetz Adonai taritzi, Al Yadish ben partzi, B'nisim havnagila, Lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekavela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekavela, Bo'ui v'shalom atzeret mala, Gam b'simcha u'atzola, Tochim unei am zegula, Bo'ui chala, Lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekavela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekavela.
Now we are seated now, the English on page 27, the Psalm for Shabbat herself on page 27. It is good to thank you, Adonai. It's good to sing to your name, Most High, to proclaim your love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. You gladden me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork. We'll stop there. To what are we referring? Those last two stanzas, you gladden me with your deeds, I shall sing of your handiwork, how wonderful are your works. This is a psalm, it's identified with Shabbat, and Shabbat, of course, comes to mind when we talk about the early part of Breshit, Genesis. God created the universe, and God paused and reflected, and God said, it's all beautiful. Every aspect of creation in its place, beautiful. And the psalm is saying that the world is here for the purposes of making you and me happy. You gladden me. The world is here for us to appreciate and to enjoy. But we have to guard it and watch over it. And now I look at the last stanza, and we'll stop there. The arrogant do not understand. The fool does not comprehend this. The wicked flourish like grass, and every evildoer blossoms, only to be destroyed forever. And this is saying that from the Psalm's point of view, my read this week, that the wicked, the selfish, the myopic, don't understand the purpose of creation. And the purpose of creation is to continue in a beautiful manner wherein people dwell within, appreciate, enjoy, and guard, and contribute creation. But if you're selfish, if you are cruel, if you are operating on a frequency of outlandish behavior, you have checked out. This is 3,000 years old. How timely. On page 28, and this is the reminder, the Siddur is confident about who you and I are. The prayer book is confident. It's those last two stanzas on page 28. The righteous flourish like the date palm, thrive like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They flourish in our God's courtyards. In old age they remain fruitful, still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming, Adonai is upright, my rock, in whom there is no flaw. In old age, the righteous are still going to be here, still fresh and bountiful. The righteous are part of God's garden. The righteous are part of the world that's been gifted to us to maintain, to enhance, to enjoy, to preserve. You and I have a role to play, to contribute to the physical world and the social grouping that we call humanity. Please rise to Borchu on page 39b, page 39b. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch hamavorach le'olam voed. And as we're seated, the first bracha on page 39b on the English side, and then in a moment returning to the song sheet. For now, the English on page 39b. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space. You completed your work of creation on the seventh day, calling this day from one evening to the next the holy Shabbat, and gave this day of rest and all its holiness to your people Israel, creator of day and night, rolling light before darkness and darkness from light, making day pass and bringing on the evening, distinguishing day from night. Adonai Tzvaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. El chai v'kayam, tamidim lo chalen olam voed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Returning to the song sheet, halfway down, it's below the line of asterisks, you see Ahavas Olam, which is a contemporary piece. It's kind of a spin, you might say, on the traditional prayer, which is 2,000 years old. But the sense is that love is a foundational element in our universe. It's part of the makeup of space and time from a Jewish point of view. Ahavas Olam.
Ahavas Olam, Ahavas Olam, Be'ki Yisrael, Lama Ahavta. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. The song of the trees when wind stirs their leaves. The song of the earth when rain soothes its thirst. The song of the sea when waves are set free. The song of the sky when hummingbirds fly. Ahavas Olam, Ahavas Olam, Be'ki Yisrael, Lama Ahavta. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. The song of the trees when wind stirs their leaves. The song of the earth when rain soothes its thirst. The song of the sea when waves are set free. The song of the sky when hummingbirds fly. Ahavas Olam, Ahavas Ahavat Olam, Beki Yisrael, Lama Ahata. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you, all the world sings to you, the world sings to you.
Davatachal tasimi manul olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Yehuda, will you lead us in the Shema? It's on page 41.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol avacha, uv'chol nafshecha, uv'chol meodecha, ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha, v'shinantaham levanecha, v'dibartaham bam, v'shivtecha b'beitecha, u'v'lechtecha v'derech, u'shakbecha ufkamecha, u'kshartam leyot al yadecha, ve'hayu letotafot beinenecha, u'taltam al mezuzot beitecha, u'vihisharecha.
Moment of silence, perhaps the passage of the reminder, we know the name Michael. Any Michaels in this room this evening? Michael is actually three Hebrew words put together. Mi is who, W-H-O, question mark, exclamation point. Ha could be like. El, Eloheinu, God. Michael, who could be like God? That name is associated with Michamocha. What else could be like God? It's an exaltation, it's a sense of awe. And I know that Maddie looks at Michael with a sense of awe every single day, multiple times a day. Gvalt, of course, Gvalt. So Michamocha, a sense of awe in the world. Yehuda.
Adonai, Michamocha, Neder Bakodesh, Oradai Lodo Sefele, Oradai Lodo Sefele, Malchutecha Rahuvanecha, Ukeyam, Lifne Moshe.
ונאמר, כי אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל Yisrael. And in a moment we turn to the song sheet, and on the bottom of the song sheet you see stanza Hashkivenu. And looking at page 45, we have the official prayer, you might say, of Hashkivenu. And tonight, this Guitar Shabbat, so Yehuda is going to share this melody with us. Hashkivenu in the Siddur is the amplified, or the official, the original, intact prayer, you might say. But the compelling sense of Hashkivenu is that every one of us needs to be assured that upon placing the head upon one's pillow, there's a chance of reprieve. There's a need for reprieve. And the more I look at our world, the more I say, gosh, I need Hashkivenu. I need a sense of ease, of reprieve. So join us now with the Hashkivenu.
I was going to try that completely open, but I don't like the feeling. That feels right. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Mehamidenu Malkeinu leChaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu leChaim. Ufros Aleinu, Sukkah Shlomecha, leChaim Shalom, Me'atza ve'ad olam. Sometimes I lay under the moon, and I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. For when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. And all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There be no more wars, our children will pray. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the water stayed raging. In this maze you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it phase you, no way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. But when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. And all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There be no more wars, our children will pay. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day.
V'os aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru, the top of 46.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledotam merit olam. B'nei u'b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledotam merit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, asa Adonai et ha-shmayim ve'et haaretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledotam merit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat b'nafash, Shabbat b'nafash, Shabbat b'nafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledotam merit olam.
Yitara Shemei Rabbo. Yechon v'yom echon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael ba'gala ba'gala uv'ezman kariv v'imero amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbo mevarach la'olam li'olmei olmaya Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitparv'tam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yitala, V'yithalal, Shemei de Kedusha, Brechu, Leila, Min Kol Berchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechemata, Da'amiran Balma, V'imero, Amen. We call the main part of the service the Amida. Friday night, Saturday morning, every day of the year. It means to stand up. Through the hopeful view of the Siddur, we're in a group. It's a silent private prayer, and so we're saying our own thoughts, but we have to be next to someone. Jews don't pray by themselves. We have to appreciate that we're part of a community, and the smallest constituency of a community is a minyan. We need at least 9 other people next to us in order for us to really pray, goes the mindset. So we're invited to rise. The traditional text is before us. There's also a handout that I've placed here along with the song sheets. It's the long English text, it's 1 page. A silent prayer, the traditional text, pages 47 to 52, or this prayer of a contemporary nature or our own devising, in silence. On page 51, the closing bracha of every Amidah, whether aloud or in individual private prayer, the last blessing is always a prayer for peace. Always. In every synagogue, every congregation, every community, every individual's home, the last blessing of the most central Jewish prayer is always a prayer for peace. Yehuda, Shalom Rav. It's found in the red transliteration and the Hebrew as well.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim Lelah. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim Lelah. Ki ata hu melech hador lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech hador Shalom, Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim Lelah. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim Lelah. V'tov b'necha levarech et zamcha Yisrael. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim Lelah. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim Lelah. Tasim Lelah.
Shkoyach Yehuda. I want to introduce you to someone. Just pass the picture around for a moment. And as you see this picture, I want you to look at this picture and just take hold. And I want you to notice as much as you can about this person. And I'll introduce just a little bit. But first, I want you to see this person and hand it on to the next person. And take hold of this person, this human being. And as you look at this picture, same picture on both sides of the room, what can we discern of this person?
She looks intelligent.
What else? She seems happy. We can guess that she has some other person in her life because there's an arm draped upon her shoulder and you can see part of a face. I don't know anything about this person other than her name, which I'll share in just a moment, but her eyes are embracing. She's got a look upon her face. She has somebody who is deeply in love with her, I imagine, who's attached to her physically and emotionally, and we don't know if she has anyone else. Her name is Margit, and I met her last night. I've never encountered the name Margit before. I know the name Margalit, but I don't know the name Margit. Maybe they're related, maybe it's not, but it's an Israeli name. And Margit, she has a Hebrew name, and she's smiling, and she's engaged. She's dead. She was in one of the villages in the Gaza area, near Oz. She's 63 years old. I don't know anything else about her. I haven't yet found anything else about her. And at some point I may learn more about Margit. But now I have to tell you another story. Most of you know my name. My name is Silberman. My dad, Hashem, was Herbert. My grandpa, Zal, Ben. My great-grandpa was Philip Zal. And Philip was from Odessa. And he left Odessa and he came to the New World. And he, Russian Jew, met and married an Austrian woman, Pauline, which might have been kind of a shanda back then in the, I'm not sure when, late 1870s or so, give or take. And his name is Silberman, which I'm told by people who study names is actually a Germanic name, but he's from Odessa. Who's to say why the name is Silberman? But according to our family lore, Philip was the only one, and he had an only son. Ben, my grandpa, and my grandpa had an only son. My dad, I have an older brother, and my younger sister. So we grew up knowing that there were only a few Silbermans of our kinship in our lives. Fairly common Jewish name, but no real kin. Once I was a child, it may have been 10, 12, and I asked my dad, "Dad, do we have any long-lost relatives somewhere?" And he said, "We think we might have 2 spinster aunts somewhere in Kansas City, but we don't know." And that would have been dating from the time of like the 1910s, 20s, if indeed we think we know that Philip had somebody, but we're not sure. But effectively, we don't have any Silbermans. So I bumped into this website last night, and it kept me up until about 1:30 in the morning. And I shared it with you in the email that I sent out. It's a website that brings to light names and faces of people who were massacred and destroyed by Hamas. And if you click on those faces, some of them just have a name pop up, and some have a phrase or two about the individual. This woman is Margit Silberman. And I saw her looking at me at my computer screen at midnight, 1 o'clock. And I can't get her out of my mind. Because it could have been me. That could have been me. She's 63 years old, I'm 62. It could have been me. It could be any one of us. It literally could be any one of us. And what I don't understand is my inability to explain to the world why this is not just another iteration of the Arab-Israeli conflict, why I can't explain to the world that this is deeply personal. This is not only history, this is not only whether it's 70 years ago or 100 years ago, this is survival. It is survival between a community, we the Jewish people, devoted to shalom at the end of every single prayer. We the Jewish people who define ourselves as people connected to a scroll of law expecting justice and righteousness. This is our survival at stake against a community that revels in death. A community that dances and sings when somebody walks into a gate of an unarmed community and shoots and kills people and then calls mom back home and says, "Look what I did. Aren't you proud of me?" Whereas Friday nights, when we bless our kids, we say, "May you be like Ephraim and Manasseh. May you be like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. May you go out into the world and represent justice and care and compassion and righteousness and dignity and humanity and tzedakah. Justice. This is who we are. And we literally are embroiled in a fight of survival. And I'm running out of ways to explain to the world that, yes, this is deeply personal. And so I turn to Torah whenever I can. And I find something in the Torah reading that's associated with tomorrow. And the reading goes as follows. Abraham has died of old age. He's 175. It's okay. 175, he's okay. Isaac is now on the scene, and Isaac is married, and he has 2 boys. So there are 4 Jews in the world, and they're dwelling in an area, and they move and they settle in an area near what you and I will call almost the Gaza region at this time. And there's a band of Philistines in the area. And there are 4 Jews: Isaac, Rebekah, Jacob, and Esau. And Isaac begins to dig a water well. And the Philistines come along and they stop it up. And so he moves, digs a well, and they bring in and they pour dirt into the well. Now, why would you pour dirt into a well that somebody has dug for his own family other than be cruel and malicious? And this happens 3 or 4 more times. And he keeps moving away, pitching his tent as a nomad, digging a well to make water available for his own little clan of shepherds. And if you read the text, the way I think I'm reading it this year, there is a brewing tension and conflict here. And the 4 Jews in the world are going to be faced with a challenge. Do they fight, or do they continue to leave? And at some point, there is tension building, and then Isaac and this other guy make some kind of a pact. And they split apart, and the way I read it is they develop kind of a no man's land area where this guy is here, and Isaac and his family are here, and Isaac digs another well, and he's left alone, and he and the 4 Jews in the world have water. By the way, if you're a member of Moz, you better sign up. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to pay your bill, and your water will be cut off. I learned about this the other day. You have to go online, and you have to log in and set up an account, even if you're an automatic payer. I'm still talking. Thank you. So Isaac now is left with an opportunity because they've come to some kind of an understanding by separating themselves. It's a no man's land. And in the background, there's a whisper. Because if you look a few verses back, there's this phrase that says, "And I, God, made a promise to Abraham that you're going to be as numerous as the stars in the sky above." There's a promise. And we all know what a promise is. A promise is the other side of hope. You can't put it in your pocket. It's not a guarantee. It's something as elusive as the words that bring it to reality. But God promised Abraham was long dead. And that promise is still echoing in the ears of his son Isaac, who's just managed to avoid possibly a war, that someday you're going to be as numerous as the stars in the sky. And I've been waiting and counting for 3,800 years, and I still don't see that many Jews on the planet. And so I've come to a new understanding of what that means. And I don't think it means, at least my interpretation, as I struggle with my inherited theology, is that we're literally going to be numbering millions and millions and millions and millions, because we know how few we are. But I'm going to say that we are going to last as long as the stars in the sky. That's how I understand that whisper in the background, which is an elusive promise and a hope that we are going to last as long as the stars in the sky. And when you look at the sky, you see this magnificent, enormous, black, dark expanse with just some sprinkles of light. On some occasions, a lot. On some occasions, only a few. But those sprinkles of light transform the darkness. They come forth in a way that even the darkness of the heavens themselves can't. That's what it means to be a star. And that's what I'm holding on to, even though I'm a Silberman, and I could have been killed in your O's just like Margit Silberman. The only way I can hold on to is this whisper of a promise from a father to a son, to a grandson, to a great-grandson, 130 more generations into the future, which is where we are right now. And that's what I share with you, my people whom I love. That we have inherited a promise. It's a whisper. It's an echo of words handed down from God to Abraham to Isaac, that in spite of all the challenges and the pain and the conflict, we are stars that have a purpose in the heavens and here upon the earth. And we will continue and we will flourish. Maybe not to the billions and billions, but we have a sacred purpose here, and that's to light up the darkness. And that's what we're going to share with the world, each of us in his or her own way. And we all say, Amen. You're invited.
Quality, not quantity.
Quality, not quantity. And permanence and endurance. And determination. We rise the Aleinu. The Aleinu is on page number 56. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breishit, shelo asanu kgoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu noteh shamayim v'yoser haaretz v'moshav yekaro b'shamayim imam u'shchinatu zo Megavei meromim Hu Eloheinu enod Emet malkeinu efes zulatom Kakatu b'toratom V'yadat ayom v'shebota el levavecha Ki Adonai hu Elohim B'shamayim mimal V'al haaretz mitachot enod. Kakatu b'toratecha Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar le'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad u'shemam echad. Let us all please remain standing for the Mourner's Kaddish this evening. On page 58, and on this Shabbat, remembering the members of our families, which include Rebecca Hirsch, Morris Brook, Nathan Siegel, Bessie Dittman, Donald Lassner, Phil Ladd, Kalman Liebeskind, Louis Morningstar, Peter Leon Sussman, Samuel Goldrich, Lloyd Maklevitz, Alan Sherman, Claude Petit Sr., Gertrude Maisel, Sylvan Sachs, Bunya Mishaloff, Alexander Grodnick, Saul Brown, William M. Lubell, Isidore Loeb, Evelyn Bloom, Mose Zivitz, Abraham Solowski, William A. Lubell, Cy Lichtenfeld, Francis Thomas, Stephen Abels. Are there any other names to mention this evening? Margit Silberman. Any other names? Perhaps those joining in at home have a name to share? Kaddish together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, amen. Be'olma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chaye chon v'yomei chon u'chaye b'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zaman kariv v'meru, amen. Hey shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroma v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran ba'alma v'meru, amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru, amen. The word shame is here twice. Shmei in Aramaic. Shame or shmei means the name. We're remembering the names of our loved ones, and we attach the names of our loved ones to the name of God. You can step out. May we be comforted and consoled. We'll conclude in just a moment with Oseh Shalom, and thereafter, as we're ready to exit the chapel, we'll be making kiddush and motzi, and then we have an oneg afterwards. So we always want to end on a high note, a note of peace, Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom b'imruma Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael V'yimeru, amen. Yimeru, amen. Oseh Shalom b'imruma Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael V'yimeru, amen. Yimeru, amen. May the one who makes all peace make peace in our world. May the maker of all love give us hearts that care. Oh, say shalom, shalom b'imromav. Oh, yeah, say shalom. Leinu v'yokol yoshvet aleh. Oh, say shalom b'imromav. Uyaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru, amen. Yimeru, amen.
Yishar Koach Yehuda. Blessings upon you, Yehuda. Yehuda. And those joining in, we can't wait to see you at some point in the near future. Until we see each other, Litrot, may God bless you. And please know we love you very much. You're important. Shalom.